The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Rich Martin here for the Eagles Sports Network with Director of Track and Field and Cross Country, David Needs. There's a slew of coaching changes and promotions. Before we get into that, Coach Needs, of course, you lose some coaches. They're going to move on. They're going to do great things, of course. But what can you tell us about the coaches that you've left and how they left their impact on this Carson-Newman program?
Sure. We were sad to lose Luke. Luke was certainly the greatest male distance runner we've ever had here, and Luke was here, and I know Luke's going to be a great coach someday, and it was a great chance to be at the early part of his career to work with him, and then certainly to lose, Mike Morrison was another person that we knew, but with his job change and some things that he had going on, that it just wasn't practical to come up from Knoxville to Jefferson City for him, and then. With Samantha, we love Samantha, and Samantha, we knew that when she first started coaching with us, we were going to give her opportunities to go find the kind of job that she needed to find. That was with her talent, and certainly being able to go work at Princeton as the director of track operations, which she did here and did so well here, was great for her to get a full-time position doing that and being able to expand on some of the things that she had, and to go to the Ivy League and everything is just been a great opportunity for us to see her succeed and shine, and she's enjoying her life there, and she's still just a phone call away for us, so it's always been good. And then I can't, if we did this entire interview about Tyler Stepp, it still wouldn't be enough. I mean, Tyler was somebody that came to me as a graduate assistant, freshly graduating from ETSU, and brought so much passion, so much, and countless thousands of phone calls where we were discussing how we could take this team and make it into a program. And Tyler had a huge impact on those things, and just his willingness to work and do what it took to help and help us build, and constantly pushing that needle for us to be better. You can't replace Tyler, but what you can do is you can build off the impact of Tyler, and so we're excited that for him and his opportunities in the private sector to do, and with his passion and with his personality, we know he's going to be very successful in what he does.
So we'll move on to your staff for the 2021-2022 season. Of course, promotions from within. Kieran Schuyler-Davis moved up to Associate Director of Track and Field. And of course, last year being promoted to Recruiting Coordinator and also Sprints Coach. So a lot on your plate, but he has done a fantastic job getting the Sprints participants ready with Devon Moore, starting Melanson, the relay teams last year. What can you tell us about Kieran Schuyler-Davis and what you've seen from him during his time here in Mossy Creek?
Well, Kieran was easy to promote because Kieran is, in addition to all the things you just mentioned, he's an exceptional recruiter. And so as we get into the season, people will see the recruiting that we've done both in transfer and in freshmen that are just really will raise our level. And I mean, we finished 11th in the nation, and there's no doubt that we can finish higher and even much higher if everybody comes in and performs up to expectations. Kieran brings a certain passion. Tyler brings in an exciting passion. Kieran brings passion, but in his own way. And so what Kieran brings is kind of a steady hand, a demeanor of, hey, I've competed in international competitions. I've competed against Usain Bolt. I've competed against Asafa Powell. I've gone and run on some of the very highest levels. And so Kieran brings this sense of calmness and a system that really works for us. And so we're extremely excited about what Kieran brings to the table. It was an easy promotion for me because I see how hard he works. I see how dedicated he is, and I really know that he's going to continue to build on what we're trying to build.
And then also you have Chris Potts-Howard. He'll finish up his master's degree this December as he finished his first year as a GA last year. Was integral in helping Joseph Areva, break one of the biggest records in school history, longest standing records. What can you tell us about Chris Potts-Howard and all the work he's put in to be promoted to a full-time position?
Well, we talked about the impact of Tyler Stepp, and certainly Chris is one of those people that we feel his impact with, because Chris was somebody that came in and he was a state champ in high school in the triple jump, but was a national qualifier in the long jump. And so Chris is very disciplined. Chris is what we in this profession call a trackie, and is somebody that really understands the fundamentals of that. Chris did a great job working with our hurdlers last year. And so to bring Chris is somebody who every practice was with Tyler, understands the lingo, but will coach it in his way. We certainly are excited about what Chris was a natural hire for us too, because Chris certainly is somebody that we absolutely trust. He's somebody that came through the program. He's an Eagle, and so he's somebody that will do a good job. Like most young coaches, as we sit through, and we hopefully this old coach can mold and cultivate into and help Chris become the coach that he really wants to be.
So look at your current staff that's still staying on for the additions. Of course, you have Chris Champ coming back as your throws coach, and then also Mike Spooner. He's been here for about a month. Will be cross country and distance. What have you seen from them? First Christy and her many years here at Carson-Newman, and from Coach Spooner in his first month already here at Carson-Newman.
Well, the great thing we love with Christy is Christy is so passionate about what she does, and she really tries to work with each person and has a personal relationship with each athlete on the team. And they're just how she cares about them. And Trey Zell's development as a discus thrower last year was in huge part because the way that Christy is invested in there, and that group, with being a little bit more experienced, is a group that's kind of a great peer group because they work within each other and they've been here for a while. And so it was natural to bring Austin in as the graduate assistant. And Austin did a great job as kind of a player coach for the hammer and and the weight, because those are his passions. And so for us to develop through there, that was really good. And so I feel really confident having two coaches in our throws that we really have covered, both the disc and the shot, but also the hammer and the weight. And then, we got this guy coaching the javelin. So, I mean, we're excited about that too. And then, with Coach Spooner, we really like Coach Spooner because he brings that Tyler Step level of passion that he has a high expectation, that this is the way that it's going to be done. When you run at the University of Tennessee and you've run for George Watts and you've had a chance to coach, and you bring this level of professionalism but a level of passion. For distance runners, that's important because they want to feel that they're being coached. And to have him, and then have Coach Whitney Lee, who's a volunteer that was the cross country coach here for a while, and to be at practice, kind of giving a steady hand and an idea of what it takes to be a Carson-Newman athlete. We're excited about that. And then, that really gives us a jump into it. And then when we add a coach like Josh Baker to coach our pole vault, and really brings a different understanding and a different way of doing it than necessarily Mike did, but speaking the same way. And to have the pole vault area on campus, we really feel like we have a staff of people that are excitingly can see things and develop student athletes, and this is the biggest squad we've ever had. And so when we do that, we're gonna have coaches who have to coach people, but they're gonna coach the heart first, and then the body and the mind, so that they can be successful.
And we'll wrap up here. You mentioned Austin Graham earlier, grad assistant. His senior year was phenomenal. He broke a record that stood in 1979 in the hammer throw, and he broke it twice.
Right.
He set the new one at both times at Montreat, and then demolished it by about 3 meters in his final meet. So Austin Graham, like you said, that passion and just that hard work he's put in. What have you seen from him, and to make him a graduate assistant here?
Well, Austin is the kind of guy that if you ask him to do something, he does it. You don't have to tell him more than once, and he'll do it. And he'll do it exactly the way that you ask him to do it. And that's what Austin is, quality. Austin is the kind of guy that you know that you can trust to do whatever you ask him to do, and he's going to get the job done. And so I love that about Austin. And he and Draven kind of battle back and forth for school records. And then, for Draven to have somebody like Austin that he absolutely trusts to work with him. And, one of the greatest things about Austin Graham, and that I have loved coaching about him, is that he is genuine. That he's not the kind of guy that's going to be fake and be one thing to one person. Who Austin is with you is who he is with everybody else. And in coaching, that's going to take you far, because if student athletes feel that their coaches are willing to invest, then they're going to go very, very far and to work with that coach and do that. And Austin brings that quality as a coach for sure.
I mentioned two volunteer assistants. Mentioned briefly Josh Baker, Whitney Lee. Josh Baker, of course, father of Marley Baker, who's on the team. Whitney Lee, former cross country runner here at Carson-Newman. What does it mean to have kind of like, you say the term family may sound cheesy, but it really is a family here at Carson-Newman. What does it mean for you to have all of these coaches who really have at some point been in this area or have been at Carson-Newman at one point in their careers?
Well, I would like to think that if you were a Carson-Newman athlete, it takes a little bit more, because I think that what we emphasize in service and heart is something that means more. That we're not going to just look at student athletes as numbers, but we're going to look at student athletes as people that are trying to make a difference, and that we're preparing them to go out into the world and do great things, and track is the vehicle by which we do that. And so we have coaches that invest that way. If we have coaches that see athletes as an individual with a heart, that like as my great mentor Ken Sparks used to say, that they're somebody's son, somebody's daughter. If we see them that way, then what we see is somebody that, whether they're the greatest athlete on the team or somebody that is struggling to perform at the highest levels, we're going to invest in them and see the results that we want. And that's what a Carson-Newman coach should be. And, you go through Holt Fieldhouse or the Ken Sparks building or any of the other athletic complexes on campus, you see a lot of those coaches that are doing that. And that's certainly what we want to be in track and field.
Coach Needs, thank you for your time. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Carson-Newman Track and Field announced a slew of coaching changes, and we'll get back on track later this year for the 2021-2022 season.